GTA 6 is probably one of the easiest games in the world to be hyped for, and I get it. The trailers looks insane, the world looks up massive, everyone is talking about it, and for a lot of people, the pre-order button probably feels like the easiest decision ever, including me to be honest. But that's exactly why it's the perfect example of a bigger problem that we have. Because when a game gets this much hype, it becomes really easy to confuse excitement with information. And those are not the same thing. A trailer is not a review, a pre-order bonus is not a reason. And FOMO especially is not a buying strategy. So this video is not me saying never pre-order games. No, it's me explaining why I'll almost never do and how I actually decide whether a game is not worth buying now, waiting for a sale, or skipping completely. Because for me personally, I almost never pre-order games. I think throughout my entire life probably, I've only pre-ordered once or twice, max. Not because I hate games, no, far from it of course. Not because I'm negative or something. Hell no. And not because I think every single pre-order is automatically like a scam. I just don't like it. That's really what it comes down to. If I'm spending money on a game, or honestly, any entertainment, regardless, it doesn't have to be only a game, I want that decision to be mine. Not the marketings, not the trailers, not the pre-order bonus or whatever. And especially not the internet screaming at me thinking this is gonna be like the masterpiece or something. No, mine alone, my decision only. Because hype can make almost anything feel urgent. It makes you feel like if you don't buy it right now, you're missing the moment. You're missing the conversation, you're missing the launch excitement and whatever. And that feeling is actually really powerful. It can also make you spend money before you actually know what you're buying. And that's where I think people get trapped. For me, the way I buy games is pretty simple. First, I ask myself if I actually want that game. Based on my own preference, of course. Not because it's trending or everyone's talking about it, I don't care. Me, I actually like this game? Do I like the genre? Do I like what that game's trying to be? Can I actually see myself playing it, Because that already removes a lot of bad purchases, actually. Try to implement that. Try to see it by yourself. It'll actually, literally remove a lot of bad purchases. Sometimes a game can be actually, huge online, but it's just not for you, man. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. You don't have to buy every single game just because it's big or everyone talking about it. It doesn't fit your taste. Simple as that. Now, actually, after that, I actually check the reviews, of course. Why? Because, it's important. And not just looking by the number and decide. You just don't look at the score on IGN and then that's it. No. I mean, scores by itself, they don't tell the whole story. I actually want to know what people are actually saying. When the people are actually playing it, what they're trying to say. Is the gameplay good? The story is good? Is it kind of repetitive or too grindy? I need to know. Especially even the performance. If it's performance bad or good, that really does impact your gameplay. I want you to think about this. Are people finishing it and loving it? Or are they just excited because it's new? That matters a lot. Because a launch hype can make everyone look better for everything. Just looks better for a few days. Everyone is just posting the clips in TikTok or whatever on shorts. Everyone is talking about it, reacting to it. Everyone's trying to be in a part of the conversation, But after the first wave, you can start hear the real stuff. The bugs, the issues, the weird critics that you find and actually turns out to be true. The boring missions in that game, the parts people are skipping. That's why I also check player discussions. They are really, really important. When you go to YouTube comments, Reddit, all across the social media, Steam reviews especially, all of them. Why you go through them? Well, simply because sometimes critics like a game, they like it and everything, but regular players, us, who are actually the fans to play the game, are annoyed by a lot of things. And actually could annoy you. So you need to find that out because you might hate it, And that's really important. It could actually literally stop you from making the purchase. And sometimes also the opposite happens. A game might be average in reviews. The critics don't like it that much. But people love it. It became the next big thing, alright? And it can even win game awards, And of course, that's why I just don't buy based on hype. I buy based on preference plus information. That's the key difference. Preference tells me if I care. If information tells me if it's worth buying now. And depending on what I find, I usually make one of three decisions. Buy it now, wait for a sale, or ignore it completely. And honestly, waiting for a sale is really underrated nowadays, man. Guys, you really, really sometimes just wait for a sale. Nothing wrong with that at all. People act like if you don't buy a game at launch, you missed the moment forever. Or it's like you broke and you missed out, so yeah, that's it. It's over for you. No. Most games don't disappear after launch, They get patched, they get cheaper, they get even complete editions with all the DLCs and stuff with cheaper price. And most importantly, they get more real feedback, man. Sometimes the best version of a game is not the launch version. Sometimes it's the 3 months later version or the 6 months version. Yes, you heard that right. That's really important. And if you waited, bro, you didn't lose at all. You just bought the better version for less money. That's just not being boring or something. That's just being smart with your money. That's it. You're being smart. Now, I do have exceptions though, of course. There are times where I'll buy something without checking too much. I just gotta be honest. But that only happens when I'm basically 100% sure I'm going to play it or watch it no matter what. Look, basically that's it. Like if you already know deep down, yeah, I'm watching this or playing this or even listening to this, no matter what, then fine, bro, and go ahead. Of course, we all have that. At that point, I'm not pretending to be like undecided or something. I'm just, if I'm not 100% sure about something, I wait. That's my thing. Because FOMO is really, really dangerous, man. And pre-orders are one of the easiest ways to create FOMO. That's why pre-order bonuses exist in the first place. The special skins, the weapon packs, the deluxe edition items, a new side mission here and there, especially the early access. The early access really, really tempting, can't lie. Oh, I hate it when they put it, man. Literally. Sometimes you look at that store page and think, if I don't pre-order now, I'll miss this, But most of the time, let's be honest, those bonuses are not worth it at all, bro. Like, they're just really not worth it. Most of these things are just easier for like 5 minutes of the game or 1 hour or whatever, man, and you just forget about it. You get the best thing inside the game. I mean, yeah, even if the bonus is cool and all, you have to ask yourself something. Is this actual bonus worth buying the game before I know if that game is actually good? Because that is the trade. Think about it. The company gets your money early. You get a small bonus, but also accept the risk. And that risk matters because one of the biggest reasons I almost never pre-order is simple. The game can be disappointing or worse. It can launch as a buggy mess. And then you're sitting there thinking, I could have spent that money somewhere else. That's the part people don't talk about enough. Buying a bad game doesn't just waste money. It wastes opportunity. That money could have gone for a better game on sale, a movie, food, bro, anything. If you don't have unlimited money to throw around, then buying smart actually matters. This is why Cyberpunk, for example, right? Cyberpunk 2077 is still one of the best examples of this, bro. Before Cyberpunk launched, the idea of that game was almost impossible to not be excited about. A massive open world RPG with a futuristic setting. You get to have 2 choices and you get to have freedom, and it's coming from CD Projekt Red, the studio behind The Witcher 3. That alone sold a lot of people, and honestly I understand why. Including me, actually. I mean, if you told me before release, look bro, there's a huge Cyberpunk RPG from the studio behind The Witcher 3, bro, I would be enfolded right now, bro. That sounds like an instant win. That sounds like the kind of game you don't even need to think about. And that's exactly why hype is dangerous, because sometimes the idea of the game becomes bigger than the game itself. And that can happen with GTA 6. Yes, it can. There's a possibility. Like, why not? In the Cyberpunk situation, they weren't just buying for the game. They were buying the dream version of it, the idea of Cyberpunk itself. They had in their heads. Just like GTA 6 right now. Maybe you think it was just something way completely different than the game itself, but basically the reality, And of course, what happened? The game launched. And yes, some people still enjoyed it, especially on stronger hardware like the PS5 and the Xbox Series at that time. But for many players, bro, it flopped. It just horrible. It wasn't even played on older consoles. The launch was just rough. They had horrible bugs, You know the story, right? Now, to be fair, Cyberpunk improved a lot over time. That's not me saying Cyberpunk is a terrible game or whatever. No, far from it, of course. It's one of my favorite games. Actually, just by the way, that actually proves my point even more. Because the people who waited to get a better version, they got the patches, the improvements, the more honest discussion about that game. They get to see what the game actually became instead of buying only the promise itself. And that is the value of waiting, guys. You're not less of a fan because you wait. You're not like less excited because you check reviews. You're not boring because you didn't pre-order or whatever. You just protecting your money and your time. That's what's most important. And that brings me back to GTA 6, by the way. Because GTA 6 is probably the biggest hype test gaming has right now. And again, I'm telling you, I'm really excited. What do you want me to say, right? But I'm actually still not pre-ordering. Just because the internet excited and I can do it right now. I do want it. I do want to pre-order, but I won't. Why? Because we still don't know the full game, bro. At that time recording, we don't know anything except the 2 trailers, and that's not really gameplay. I really just want to see the gameplay, bro. We all know the trailers, fine. We saw the screenshots, we saw everything. We know the setting, we know everything. Fine, cool, we know it. We don't know if it will even meet expectations that we have in our heads. We don't know if it has problems. We don't know the final experience actually feels like. I'm not saying GTA 6 will be horrible. I'm not even expecting it to be bad, of course. Come on, man. It's Rockstar Games. But remember, we said that in Cyberpunk, by the way. The CD Projekt Red. Look, the point is, even if you believe like a game will be amazing, you should still know why you're buying it. Not because everyone else is buying it, or the pre-order, or scared to miss the conversation, or you just want to feel a part of the hype or something. No, buy it because you actually know it fits you. And if you pre-order it, then be honest with yourself. Don't act shocked later if the game has issues. Because pre-ordering means you accepted risk before the full picture was available. That's just facts. That doesn't mean you're wrong, or just means that just basically means the decision is yours. That's it. That's really my main point. I'm not here to tell you what to do with your money, of course. If you want to pre-order, fine, pre-order the game. And you need to understand why you're doing it. Understand the risk. Understand that you're choosing before reviews, before player discussions, before performance analysis, before people have actually spent real time with the game. And if you understand all of that and still want to pre-order, fine, you do you, of course, man. Look, guys, for me, my rule is simple. If I need reviews to feel confident, I don't pre-order it. If performance matters to me, I wait. If the game is expensive, I'm still kind of unsure about it, I wait for a sale. If I only want it because everyone's talking about it, I wait until the noise comes down. That's really important. If I genuinely know I'm going to play it no matter what, and I understand the risk, then fine. Let's say that if you follow those rules, bro, trust me, you will genuinely enjoy games more. You're not gonna lose any money. You're gonna protect your time and money. Trust me on this one. Look, at the end of the day, the problem is not pre-ordering or anything. The problem is pre-ordering without thinking. The problem is like you confusing hype with a decision. Because hype is always loud and exciting. It makes everything feel urgent, but information is what actually protects you. Reviews, the player discussion, the performance. Knowing your own taste protects you a lot. If you know that, generally if you know it, man, it saves a lot of time. Because sometimes a game can review well and still not be for you. And sometimes a game can have flaws but fits your taste perfectly. You might still love it. That's why the decision has to come back to you. Not the internet, not people around you, not the marketing. You alone. Do you actually want this game? Do you understand what you're buying? Do you know the risks? Or are you okay if it disappoints you? If the answer is no, then maybe waiting is not a weakness. Maybe waiting is a smart move. Because there's nothing wrong with being excited. I love being excited for games. Gaming would be boring if we never got hyped. But there's a difference between excitement and FOMO. Excitement says, I can't wait to play this. FOMO says, if I don't buy this right now, I'm missing out. And that's the trap, guys. That's how you end up buying games you don't finish. That's how you end up with a backlog full of regret. Yes, that's always true, man. You know it. That's how you spend money on something just because the internet made it feel urgent for a week. So my advice is not never pre-order. My advice is don't let FOMO choose your next game. Have a reason. Check the information. Know your taste. Understand the risk. And if after all that, you still want to pre-order, then at least it was your decision, not the hypes. Because at the end of the day, no trailer, no bonus skin, no deluxe edition, no whatever, no influencer even, no hype wave is going to refund your money if you regret the purchase. So buy what you want, be excited, enjoy games, but don't let the loudest moment decide where your money goes. That decision should be yours. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.